Welcome to STRUnfiltered. I'm Bill Faith, the founder of Build Short-Term Rental Wealth and 27 other crazy startups in my life. What's holding you back? That's really the million-dollar question right now that I want to find out what's going on with you. You and I are exactly the same. That's something I want you to understand. I'm just a guy that has learned how to do real estate investing and short-term rental hosting very, very well. And you can do the exact same thing, but it all starts right here. And it's really the mindset. There's limiting beliefs of really what's holding people back right now. And I say this because literally 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours ago, I just put a $1.2 million property under contract. And it's a property that a lot of people would not even consider right now because there's so many things, so many negative thoughts, going through our mind that's holding us back from making the right decisions. And I want to make something abundantly clear. Right now is a great time to buy real estate if you are good at the underwriting process. If you're not good at the underwriting process, then you need to learn to be good at the underwriting process. There are some key components that go into investing into properties, and it's more pronounced today than it has ever been. But before we even discuss those, you have to be ready to be looking. Kenny Bedwell and I talk about in the STRonomics podcast all the time that we need to practice searching for properties. I've never stopped. I bought my last property in February. It is now June. That's 4 months between purchasing properties. That's about my average time length. I just put this property under contract in a new market that I have never invested into. And actually, I have never even researched into. But now I've got a $1.2 million property that most people would probably expect to do $175,000, $185,000 a year. This pencils out. It underwrites with the added improvements that I will do. I'm only using my mastermind markup at 30%. I'm not using my portfolio markup of 57% right now, above the 90th percentile of AirDNA or STR Insights. What we should do between 285 to 300 conservatively. And if I can crush the marketing side using Market My STR, then probably get to the 320 to 330 range on a $1.2 million investment. So I typically will operate, when I underwrite, I'm looking at net cash flow in the 40 to 50% range. This one's around 43%. So just rough math, if we can do $300,000 in revenue, it should be able to generate around $145,000, $146,000 in net income. That's not gross rents, that's net income. Well, if I have to put $300,000 in cash into this property, that is a 2-year cash on cash return. That is a high number. That's well over 6 figures of cash flow. These are things that can change your life if you're looking to get out of a $200,000 or $300,000 W-2 job. These are things that can change the life in a direction, or really not change my life, but push me in the direction to my final outcome. It's one of the reasons that I am patient when I am looking for properties. It's one of the reasons of why I'm always looking in new markets that I am not comfortable with. I have not bought a property in Gulf Shores, Alabama since December of 2021. So that may seem like a long time, but in 2021, I bought 9 properties down there, right? Because that market, in my opinion, is not investable today. I looked there yesterday. There's some cottages and stuff going in the $700,000 to $900,000 range on West Beach Boulevard, where I own a property, where I manage 3, actually 4. I know that area better than anybody, and those don't underwrite. So I've had to look in places that I am not comfortable with. And by comfortable, I don't mean like I'm uncomfortable investing there. It's not a bad place to invest. What it is it's something that I've never invested. I've never invested into that market before. Think about that for a second. Most of you that only invest and only own properties that are within the municipality, the market that you live in, it's your limiting beliefs. You are saying, oh my God, I can't do what Bill does. I can't host all over the country. I can't be in Montana or Arizona or Florida or Alabama, North Carolina, all these places that I host in. You can. You just need to know how to do it. It has to do with the technology, the automation, taking my templates from the Superhost library, automating your messaging, and understanding this is where the mindset kicks in. You think about the hurdles. What happens if the toilet breaks and there's water gushing in the bathroom? Well, what do you do at your own house? You call somebody to come and fix it. You walk out and turn off the water main. So here's what I'm going to tell you. You easily can document when you get your home inspection or when you go to the property, and I 100% believe all of you that you, just like me, should put your eyes on the property before you purchase. Find out where the water main is. There's a secondary water main in almost every toilet. Inform your guests. Turn that off immediately. Go outside. Turn the water main off here. Document that in your discovery doc, along with your Schlagen code, lock codes and, how to operate the TV, all that type of stuff. If you document it, it's no problem. If the HVAC goes out at your home, your primary residence, what do? You call the HVAC company. You don't know how to fix that. Neither do I. I call the HVAC company. I've got so many properties owned and co-hosted in Gulf Shores as an example. I don't even know the name of my HVAC company. It's Ruben to me. I can't remember the name of his company. But it's Ruben. I text Ruben. I need you at this address. AC's out. Guess it's like 87 degrees in the house. On it, boss. I'll be there in an hour. Type of a deal. It's just setting up. It's getting over the mindset. Most people won't literally take their vision and then even consider, going nationwide. It's no harder for me I've hosted a property in Nashville, Tennessee. I co-hosted. I've never owned one here from a short-term rental standpoint. I've co-hosted one that was 35, 40 minutes away from my personal residence, and I treated it just like my property in Montana. There's nothing that's different at all. That's not true. The only thing that's different is instead of the cleaners going to Costco to pick up stuff, a couple of times I went to Costco and drove stuff up to that property. That's the only difference. But you have to answer the questions. This is a huge one that's on everybody's mind right now. I have cash and I'm not buying because interest rates are too high. I have cash right now. You have cash, but you're not buying because interest rates are too high. Well, the answer to that question is find a property, go to STR Insights, search the entire country, just sort by gross ROI. You can't do that on any other platform. Sort by gross ROI. Find a property that's doing 14 or 15% gross ROI. That equivalates like 26, 27, 28% cash on cash. Then start the underwriting process. I can tell you right now, I'm looking in the Northeast, Maine, Vermont, places, Alaska, places that I would never even consider investing into. I'm exploring them. Literally RV parks in, Minnesota of all places. They perform better than Florida. It's crazy. We have to get out of our comfort zone. We have to explore. We have to answer these questions so we can get out of our own mindset. Well, I'm not buying because I'm worried about the economy. What are you worried about? We can't control what happens. It's either going to stay the same, it's going to go up, or it's going to go down. One of those three things. Nobody has really predicted it in the past. So if you're going to run scared and you're not going to invest because of the economy, and in no way am I saying to be reckless and go out and purchase, you need to be financially prudent. You need to underwrite the properties. You need to build them into super properties so you can stand out from all of your competition. That needs to be part of your underwriting process. And if you find that good deal like I just found in a place I never thought I would invest, honestly, I never, ever once thought about investing into this market. But now I am, because the underwriting works, because I never stopped searching. I'm always on the lookout for new investments. And this is the most important part. It serves my purpose. So this is why you have to define what you want to get out of this. You have to define what you want to get out of this. You've heard me talk about architecting our outcomes, architecting our life. This property serves that. It's going to be $140,000 in cash flow on a $300,000 cash investment. High cash on cash return, high cash flow. Exactly what I need on a luxury property to continue to level up my properties, level up my portfolio, take one super property, add it to the super portfolio, and now I'm building a super life. Super property, super portfolio, super life. Those are the three things that I've tried to build. It's not the number of units, it's the value of each individual property. And this one that I found fits right in. You can do the exact same thing. I promise you, you can. Number one, today, if you have any questions, just DM me on Instagram. BillFaith73. If you're listening to this, that's Bill Faith, Faeth 73. If you're on YouTube, you can see it right down there at the bottom of the screen. If you're listening to the podcast, jump over to the Build Short-Term Rental Wealth YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the podcast because there's a lot of good shit that's coming out. But it all starts with you. Make the decision of what you want and your outcome. There's nothing wrong with having 100 properties that generate $10,000 or $20,000 a year in net income. But that is not for me. Not everybody can go and put $200,000 down on a property and then put $100,000 into renovation and design and murals and all that type of stuff. That's okay. Start co-hosting. It costs nothing. Look into arbitrage. But most importantly, don't just sit on your ass and do nothing. Now, just like it was in 2009 and 10, is a tremendous time to start a business. And that's what you're doing when you invest into a short-term rental or a mid-term rental or a long-term rental or a multifamily project. You're starting a new business. It just has to underwrite. If the performance says it's a go, go. If the performance says it's a no-go, don't go. But most importantly, don't stop looking. Thanks for joining me on this episode of STR Unfiltered. Happy hosting, everybody.